So on today's episode of What Am I Doing? I have a Mapex Saturn snare from one of my buddies, and it was just not sounding too good. Do you hear that snare ring? So I tuned it, still wasn't working, wasn't sounding way too many high tones, and then I was like, hey, you know what? I think it needs a new snare. Look at this. That's why it keeps rattling. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, more than 5 snares on there. So I went through my stuff, and I don't know where this came from, but at one point I actually bought a 24 strand Pure Sound snare. So we're gonna switch that out and see if we can make it sound better. Okay, so one of the things I noticed when I'm one of the things that I noticed when I was taking off the bottom head is it doesn't look like a bottom head should. Let me show you. That is a very sad resonant head. I mean, it's really, really thin, and it's made to be the snare side. But this has seen better days. This is what a new head should look like. See? No divots, flat. This is what a head that needs to get changed looks like. I noticed too that the lugs were tightened, cranked almost all the way down, where the rim right here was almost flush with the top. Or the shell, I should say, was almost flush with the top. That's a bit too much for a bottom resonant head. So yeah, gonna replace this, see what it sounds like. Okay, so the lugs are off. And now what you do after taking all the lugs, making them all loose so they can come off, then usually it's the same nut. Oh, that's actually hand tight. That's cool. Same nut head. Loosen this up. And take the straps off. Boop. I know this is a little bit boring, but I didn't want my phone to turn off, so I gotta film every couple of... Hey, at least I didn't make you watch the lugs getting loosened. There we go. Goodbye. I don't have the original packaging for this new one, so I'm gonna have to use these old straps, but that'd be cool. What I really like, just randomly, about my Star Classic, get this bad boy. I love that it has these thick nylon straps. I love that. I just feel like it makes it sound a lot better. Now this is why I like taking drum heads off, because it's very satisfying to figure out that this lug is longer than I thought it was. No. Wow. That was really stretched out. Goodness. Paper thin too. I don't think I've ever had a resonant head on a snare that is this thin. That loves to make really high tones. But no, it's doing this. Walnut and maple. I think it's walnut and maple. Not positive, but that's my take on it. So then we're gonna check, make sure everything's tight, so we don't have any rattle. That was loose. Check these, all good. Thankfully they put lock washers on here, so these shouldn't be getting any looser, but still, you don't want to do all this work and then have a rattle on your lugs. Okay, we are good. Oh my goodness. Excuse me, I'm going to go get a cloth. Instant cloth. Now, if I was my brother, I'd be putting some kind of an oil in here to make it shine and seal the wood better, but I'm not my brother, I'm me, so I'm just gonna wipe it. Get all the dust out. Cool, all right. Now we get the new head. Well, new-ish. It did get victimized by a piece of tape that I had used, but it's basically a new head. So we're gonna put this on and see what it sounds like. Okay, I'm gonna show you something. You tell me what's wrong. These are just threaded. So check it out. I'm gonna go here. I'm tightening, right? I'm tightening. I'm gonna just keep tightening. Okay. Something tells me that this is not gonna tighten. But I have a new spare one. Okay, so I have the new head on and I have the new snare on. So I know there's like a million videos about this out there, but why not 1,000,001? So one of these is static. It just kind of locks in here, right? And then the other one is the actual tensioner. See, where you release the snares and then tighten the snares or engage them, right? And so usually what I do is I like to loosen it and then find like the middle ground for this. See, watch, as I turn this dial right here, it extends that portion. So I kind of loosen it, see where we're at, and then tighten it, see where we're at, to be like, okay, I got play in there. All right, good. So I go about halfway. See if you can see threads in there. No. So I go about halfway. That way, if you're here and then you want to fine tune, you can just tighten it and loosen it. Something like that. But what I really am looking for is when it's fully engaged, the space between I don't know what to call it, the little housing for the springs is about the same distance from the rim on both sides. So right now that's actually looking pretty good. That one might be a little bit further, but as long as they're not like up on the rim, they have some space so that it resonates equally between both sides of the snare. So I think we're pretty good right there. Tighten it and that's engaged. So when it's like loose like this, obviously it's going to be a little bit closer to this side than this side. But then when you engage it, it should bring it to about even. Looks pretty good.